Okay, so we have now talked about Project Matthias, why it's called Project Matthias. We have talked about the gifts of the Holy Spirit that will be received at confirmation and and the sponsor requirements. So let's take a second and talk about how we're called by name. Now, you have your name that you were given by your parents. My mom took Scrabble tiles and moved her name around to different names and finally came up with my name, Lisa. But each of us was given a name by our parents. And in the Old Testament, God sometimes changed people's names when they took on special work for Him. And Jesus also gave people new names sometimes. And you are going to be, for confirmation, picking a name. Now, this is going to be a name of a saint that you feel a special connection with, that is going to lead you and guide you in this life of faith. Simon became Peter, so he had a name change. Levi became Matthew. And so a change in name signifies a change in status. And you are going to pick a confirmation name because you are also having a change in status. The decisions that your parents made for you up until this point in baptism and first communion, you might have been able to pick the dress, okay, but ultimately this is the first time that you are having a say. This is the first time that you are getting up in front of the church and you are saying, this is the life that I've chosen for myself. I'm choosing this for myself. So by signifying that, by that change, okay, that is why there's also the change of name. Now, your name, your day-to-day name, so like when the teacher calls on you, they're not going to call you by a different name. Okay, but God will know you as the name that you select. For me, my confirmation name was Elizabeth. So God knows me as Elizabeth. Now, we will actually have eighth grade. We will actually have a name calling retreat that will be the same as this one next week, where you will think about your name, learn about how the saints are named, learn about the process of how they become a saint. But you can start thinking about, even seventh graders, you can start thinking about saints that you have always felt connected to. I highly encourage you to pick a saint that you feel connected to, not just because their name sounds cool, but because you feel an actual connection to them. I highly advise you to start thinking about that. As eighth grade, we are getting closer to the sacrament of confirmation. So your name will change. You will pick a saint name, and that saint will ultimately intercede for you and be there for you and guide you. So not only will you have your sponsor who is actually here with us on this earth, you will also pick a saint's name to lead and guide you. So your name will change because you are also having a change in status. You are being seen as an adult in the eyes of the church. And one of the things that it's important to keep in mind through confirmation is that God has a mission for you. Okay, your name is going to change because He has a mission. And you receiving the Holy Spirit is a sign that you are ready to carry out the mission that God has for you in this life, whatever that might be. That you are ready to live this life of faith for yourself, to discern the paths that He wants you to take, whether that be as a teacher or an athlete or a doctor or whatever that is. You living your life of faith with what God has intended for you. I always find this story of the fishermen to be fantastic. They were fishing and fishing and fishing, and nothing was getting in the nets. And then finally, Jesus said, "Hey, go over there," and the net's filled with fish. And when they came in to land, He said, "You are now the fisher of men." They weren't intending to be the fisher of men, but you in confirmation are accepting the mission that God has for you.